Chelsea new, Crystal Palace new. Welcome to Vertical Football. This is 5 things we learned. Man, this match, I honestly, I spoke about this in the last shoot I did. No. This does not make sense. Let me start again. The energy was low. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. It's the same old sickness. I tell you, Chelsea is still suffering from the same old disease. Playing against low block team. Man, Crystal Palace didn't necessarily go that low block kind that you are expecting, but I think they did it strategically and he worked for them and worked against Chelsea. So this is Chelsea new, Crystal Palace new. Let's go into the 5 things we learned in this match. And like I would always say, I don't think I have 5 things. I think I have more than 50 things that I can speak about in this match, but let's just walk it through. Let's have a discussion and talk about this thing. So number one thing I would say is let me walk from the Crystal Palace perspective and I'll come to the Chelsea's perspective. And I say the way Oliver Glasner set up against Chelsea, it was a deserved draw for them. I tell you, coming up with a 3-4-3 diamond. Yeah, you're looking at him having a 3 center back. Yeah, 4 in the midfield, and it's looking like the 3 up front is like 2, then 1. It counters the way we want to press, because you look at the way Chelsea wants to. It counters the way we want to build up. You look at the way Chelsea wants to build up. We're always building up with 3-1-3-3, or sometimes we build up with 3-2-2-3, which it gives us like more players in the middle to be able to do a whole lot of damage there. But they're coming up with 3 at the front. That automatically blocks our 3, and they're having 4 at the back, which we were having 1 and 3. It just cancels out play in the middle of the park. And I think Oliver Glasner watched a whole lot of Chelsea match to be able to come up with that idea, and in the end worked out for him. I think that setup was massive, and you see like they after the formation, they did a whole lot of things behind the formation, which was they chose not to press, because they knew that if they pressed Chelsea, it was going to be like it's going to be a 70% chance that they are going to lose that match. And they chose not to press. So you see Chelsea trying to build up. Mateta is just there waiting. You're seeing Eze is just waiting. You're looking at Ismail Sarr just waiting there. They're just taking the step backward. And all of a sudden, they are stopping there now. Like, there is no place for us to go anymore. And we just kept on kicking the balls around, which it made it very, very difficult for us to like create anything in the center, which I feel like that has always been our strength. If you can allow Caicedo take that ball, the 3 at the back passing it around. When they find Caicedo is already looking for either Kopama, looking for Enzo Fernandez. But Crystal Palace they blocked all of these chances out, and it became very hard for us to create anything in the center of the park. And I think we tried going wide, but earlier in the game we didn't really create anything out of playing wide. Yeah, and I think that cost us a lot. So another thing I would say is I want to give high praises to Eberechi Eze. Man, I don't know what Arsenal is doing. I don't know what Tottenham is doing, and many of all these clubs that are looking for this guy, just taking the cash in and splash it on this guy. And I don't know, I can promise that you will not regret it, because this guy is different level, not that elite level that you are requesting for, but this guy that you know, it will give you what you want. This guy will come up and it will show up for you. Like, he really did a whole lot in this particular match. You see the way the role he played today was more like, he played more like an attacker, and at the same time was still like coming back to come and do the defensive work. No, you will not necessarily see what he's doing, but I think he's part of the people that blocked Chelsea from pressing really well, because Chelsea wants to press. We have our 3 that is starting the build up, giving it to Chalobah, giving it to Achimpong in the middle and James on the other side. They are passing the ball around, but because Eberechi is not staying on the far side of the wing. He's standing like an inside forward. So it becomes very hard for us to like play the ball out into the wide space or play the ball into the center because he's standing in the middle. You don't want to make any pass where he will just take the ball and turn it to a count. He almost did that. There was one where I think Achimpong was trying to give the ball back to Caicedo, and the ball just slipped a little bit. His first instinct was to kick it over because Sanchez was very close outside, though we didn't see it from the camera angle. But for the level of Eze trying to like kick the ball from that place, like, oh, the keeper is outside and he's trying to try something very massive there. But great match to Eze, very, very good. So let me come to the Chelsea's perspective here. In my own viewpoint, I don't think we had a bad match. Yeah, I would say this really like open and plain. Like we didn't have a bad match in my viewpoint. I think let me start from the pressing. I think the pressing was right from the first. The only period when we started to lose our head was in the 60 minutes to the 90 minutes. We didn't really press effectively until Delap came in. Like I think it's expected when you try from 1 minute to like 60, 70 minutes and nothing was seemingly happening. Nothing seemed to be happening. I think they should be given the benefit of losing their head for a little bit of time. Like the press, at one point they just lost the whole thing. It was more like they were not pressing right. But from the beginning of the match to like the 60 minutes, the press was right. When João Pedro is taking charge, already seeing what's it called, Jamie Gittins going, you're seeing Pedro Neto coming on the other side, you're seeing Kopama coming to block the six of Crystal Palace, and you're seeing Enzo Fernandez coming up high. So we committed a whole lot of player up front to like block them, and they sent the ball back. And I think Henderson, the Crystal Palace goalkeeper, sending the ball, trying to find Mateta. That's where I think Achimpong comes in. The guy is fantabulous. At one point, I started seeing John Terry, and I don't know if it was only me who saw this, and I don't want to be grandiose in the way I'm feeling at the moment about this guy, but at one point I saw John Terry, the way he moved the ball, the way he was confident. There was no fear in his body. There was no, you look at his composure and you're like, this guy is really confident. He's not trying to be confident. He's not faking his confidence. He actually is confident. So I think I like the way he play. His ball carrying. When Mateta is trying to press him, he just kick the ball into space and go out and look for a pass back to Rich James or look for it to Caicedo. And the way he marked Mateta, he didn't. At some point, he was bullied, but not bullied in the sense like he went on to create anything dangerous, aside the one where he allowed the ball bounce and Mateta just took the instant shots, where I don't know why Sanchez was furious. I don't understand why you were furious. The boy is still a very young boy playing against a very huge Mateta. I think we need to give him those little chances. So I think he's nice in this particular match. He did well. His ball playing, his marking, his coordination, standing in the middle, in the center of Chaluba and Rhys James, and he stepped up to it. And I think that's very great for Achimpong. I was speaking to my friend before the match, and I was like, when he told me, oh, I saw the news this morning that Tosin was not going to be available for the match, and I'm like, oh, that's bad news. But I think to some extent, if Chelsea play like possession-based football, like when we take charge to some extent of the ball, Achimpong can be trusted, and I think he showed up. He really played well in this particular match, so I give him the praise. Chaluba, man, that was massive performance. He was solid in the way he marked Mateta. His interception was good. The way he carried the ball was great. In the air, I think he really gave Mateta he stood up to the fight. Mateta is the huge guy. You're thinking will just rest on them and try to like carry the ball all of the times, but no, I think Chaluba really made it a good fight against him. And Mateta versus Chaluba in this particular match, I think Chaluba won. It was a very, very good match. Very, very nice one. I will still speak a little bit about something that happened, and I feel like let me just talk about it. I think in this match we were not lucky in the sense that our critical chances fell in the hands of the wrong guys. Yeah, I wished our critical chances fell in the hands of people like Opama, people like João Pedro, or probably Enzo Fernandez, who I know can deliver these chances. Our critical chances, because I've always spoken about these things. When you're playing against a team who is always sitting back, you know automatically that you are going to have limited chances. But limited chances does not mean you will not score. Limited chances means if you are used to having 5, 6 chances in a match, limited chance just means you are going to have just 2 or probably 1. So what do you do in this? You have to be very, very clinical in those moments. You're looking at the chance that we had with Chaluba, where Jamie Gittin took the first guy, took the second guy and played. The shot wasn't the best of shots, but the ball eventually got to Chaluba and he just ballooned it. I think those chances were critical for us. If we could have buried that one, it could have changed the whole story. And another one with Andre Santos towards the end of the match, we were beginning to gain momentum back again, because I told you we lost our head around the 60, 70 minutes, 60 to like 7, probably 65 to around that time. We lost our head and we were not really that much. Crystal Palace were building up very easy. You're seeing Henderson throwing the ball into the middle and they're just building up every ball. When we started to pick up again, when the substitution happened, you saw that chance with, what's it called, Andre Santos, where Cucurella made the square play, just cut it out. Dude, you're a right footer, for crying out loud. You don't. That's like almost like the goal this guy scored for us against Liverpool. What's his name? Enzo Fernandez, where the early break, where Pedro Neto, Kopama took the ball, waited a little bit, gave it to Pedro Neto, and Pedro Neto just squared it out. First touch, and bam! It's as simple as that. I know it's not that simple, pardon me, but it's supposed to be as simple as that. Andre Santos is just Cucurella cutting it back for you. The cutback already has beaten the first defender, and the second defender is still far out wide, trying to protect Estevao from getting the ball. You automatically know that you have at least 2 seconds to do the first touch and take your shot. But I don't know why you were so much in a hurry. That's one thing I think. Andre Santos is a great guy. He's going to ball for Chelsea. It was very obvious. Him coming up for Enzo Fernandez, just a few minutes he played. For me, I think he had a better game than Enzo Fernandez. But at this critical moment, what's your head like? How is your pressure level? Can you contain your own pressure? Can you contain yourself in the midst of pressure? I think he did not really do that. That's why he kicked that ball and he ballooned it. Not even a shot on target, not even hitting the bar. I was disappointed, but we can't put it on him. But you know, these chances are not something you want to be missing. You don't just want to be missing that. And let me go to another player. I think Caicedo is a trusted engine. Yeah, you have a car and you know the engine is the car itself. Caicedo can be trusted. Just know this and know peace. He can be trusted. You see this guy, when he did something, and I saw it a whole lot of time. I know it was very obvious, and I'll just speak about it. I know it's going to be a coach instruction because of the way, what's it called? Crystal Palace set up against us. The 3 in the back, them they putting their 3 at the front, blocking our 3 at the back, made it very difficult for us to like build up. Caicedo had to take up a double role, becoming part of the 3 in the back and allowing Reece James and Malo Gusto play far out wide into the right back, because when we are building up, we are building with a 3 at the back. So because Crystal Palace has set up their 3, so he's already 3 matching 3. Caicedo had to like step up out of him being the one that anchors the 3, come into the 3 at the back and allow Reece James or Malo Gusto play far out wide into the right hand side. So it became very easy for us to like build up, and I think we saw more of that in the second half. Yeah. So when the 3 is matching the 3 there, we have, what's it called? We have Achimpong, we have Chaluba, we have Caicedo. The 3 of them are matching there. The 3 Crystal Palace players are coming up front, and you get like what's it called? Reece James standing up front there, and the ball is able to like move freely. And I think as much as he's still doing that to stand as a center back, he's still standing as a pivot again. That guy is massive for us. Caicedo is a trusted engine. Trust me, this guy is going to like ball for us. But one thing I would like Chelsea, we need to start finding the way to reduce the workload on him by playing more. And I know this depends on the situation, but we need to start finding a way to always try and play more of a double pivot so that you will not go and wear this guy out. So we don't just have just a 3 years of Caicedo and then we start to see injury, because you understand that your body will always ask like, yo guy, you have used me too much. So another guy, and one thing I saw again is I think the player took initiatives today, because I saw some glimpse of stuffs, and one thing that stood for me was when Chelsea played in a formation of 3-3-1-3, because he at one point, and I'm saying this for the 100th time, the three in the front that Crystal Palace did was, it disrupted the whole game. 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 as a formation was just something you couldn't have thought about. It disrupted the whole game. So Chelsea's player, because it didn't happen 2 times or it didn't happen thrice, so I can't say it is a coach's instruction. So I'm saying the players took initiative in the sense like at one point we started playing 3, or we played 3-3, where you saw the 3 at the back, and then you had Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez, and Caicedo just to outnumber them. And we played really well. We got the ball, started kicking it around. So we had 6 in the build-up phase alone. But because we had 6 building up, we had lesser number up front and we couldn't really advance the ball. So it's just glory to, what's it called? Oliver Glasner. It's glory to Oliver Glasner. That's what I would say. And Pedro Neto's work rate. Jeez, man, that guy is that guy is something else. Going up, down, losing the ball, going to get it back. Man, I think there were a whole lot of individual performances in this match, and I can keep on going and praising, but Pedro Neto's work rate today was massive. It was extremely high. Charging up front, coming back. Like, kudos to Pedro Neto. And let me speak about the last part. I think our issue with low block is still there. I want to wrap it up with this. I think our issues with low block is still there. We are still finding a way to unlock it. Jamie Gittins could have done a whole lot more for us. He's a good guy. He's still settling this is his first competitive game in the Chelsea shirt. He has shown us a glimpse of what he can do. But I think he needs to start putting in more energy. This is not the Bundesliga, and this is not to downplay what they are playing in the Bundesliga. This is the Premier League. It is physical here. You have to understand these things. When you take your ball, you have to be very quick. You have to put your leg and make your feet strong. You don't want to be looking soft. He looked very soft. And I think people like Munoz, people like Richard, when they see stuffs like that, and I'm talking about the Crystal Palace player, they will take advantage of it. They see you as this guy is less threat, and they start pushing you back. So I think the only thing we need to do with our low block situation is when you get your chances, take them early. Take them early. So guys, this is just my own viewpoint about this match, and I don't know what you guys saw. Please just put it in the comment section, please. And you know what you used to do for us. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done that. This is brought to you by Vertical Football, and we'll see you some other times.